Now, with no further ado, if we could please welcome John, the father of the bride, to the stage.
Before I begin my own personal ramblings, the management have asked me to address a number of important issues relating to the venue and its use. No. The fire escapes are exactly for that, escaping in the event of a fire. Please refrain from using them for a quick puff, as clear access is required at all times. Toilet facilities are communal, so ladies, please feel free to use the urinals, as this will keep the queues to a minimum. Offering the staff a drink is welcomed, but it's strictly forbidden. They would rather have the money, preferably. For those guests who have come from outside of Glasgow, the knives, forks and spoons are for usage when you're eating the food. For those guests who are from Glasgow, there is a metal detector on the main door, just in case you forget to return the cutlery after the meal. Any complaints can be dealt with www.foff.com. So, to get to my own speech, good evening everyone and welcome to St Luke's. On behalf of myself, my wife Liz, and our newly extended family members, Gavin and Fiona, I would like to convey our thanks and appreciation for your partaking in this wedding celebration of the newly betrothed Mr and Mrs DL. We recognise fully the efforts you have all made to share in a special day and want you to know that the friendship and support that you have given over the years is highly valued and warmly embraced, not only by us the parents, but by the newlywed couple themselves. They have been greatly touched by your generosity and your willingness to be part of their lives. From their hearts they offer their gratitude, their prayers and their love. It is a very proud day for myself personally, as not only do I get the opportunity to publicly tell my daughter how much I love her, but I also get to be a witness to her joy as she begins her married life with Jordan, who undoubtedly loves her as much as I do. Jordan brings so much to the relationship through the qualities that he possesses, and a great deal of appreciation should be given to Gavin and Fiona for raising a son whose core values are respect, honesty, and most importantly, making my daughter happy. Jordan first came to my attention through a series of random situations that occurred early on a Sunday morning in July 2013. I had tapped on Teagan's door, and with no response coming, I gently pushed it open with the intent of offering to make her her favourite breakfast of French toast. The head that popped up from beneath the bed sheets completely astounded me. I thought, my God, my daughter needs to shave more often. I left the room much quicker than I had entered it, with a strange sense of foreboding, or was it realisation swirling in my head? To take my mind off the murderous thoughts that were pulsating in my brain, I rumbled about in my toolbox, thinking that a little bit of DIY would be just the distraction that I needed before having to tell the wife that we had a guest. About 20 minutes later, I met Jordan again. I was coming out of my bedroom and he was coming out of Teagan's. Both of us stood and stared up at each other before Jordan, being the better man obviously, offered his hand and introduced himself. My first words to Jordan did certainly not reflect my first thoughts. I placed the hammer that was still in my hand gently on the floor, watching the relief in his eyes as I gripped rather than shook his hand. I remember saying to him, "Hi, I'm Teagan's dad," all the while thinking, should I kick him down the stairs? Should I jump on his toes? Or at least, should I tell him that it didn't suit my daughter's underwear? I returned to my bedroom with a father's dread, whispered my complaints to my slowly awakening wife, and phoned the local undertakers to inquire on the price of a coffin. Half an hour later, and there he was again, sitting at the kitchen table, chatting away with Liz and giving it high fives with Reese. My only daughter wrapped around him like a pair of well-worn curtains. And both had been grinning from one side of their face to the other. Even a doting father knows when the sands have shifted. So I gave him some French toast and sat back and watched as they basked in the early glow of their blossoming love. From that day onwards, he became a frequent visitor, tenant, So much so that our evening dinners and weekend breakfasts depended on what Jordan wanted to eat. He used his undoubted charm to butter up my wife Liz, form a friendship with my son Reese, and continually make me feel like choking on my cornflakes by openly expressing how much he loved my daughter. Needless to say, it wasn't very long before I started to realise that not only was he a very special person in his own right, but he was also possibly the very person who would replace myself as the most important man in my daughter's life. It gives me a great feeling of contentment to know that Jordan has so many honourable values, and that the dreams he has for his new wife run closely to the dreams that I had for my daughter. He should be proud of the man that he is. He should understand that there is so much love for him from both sets of parents, and he should stand shoulder to shoulder with his new wife as they begin this new chapter of their lives with joy, happiness and love always in their hearts. So, having concluded with the obligatory plaudits to all others in the wedding party, it is only right that I now give you an insight into why I believe that my daughter is more than ready to become a trusted companion and an amazing wife to the man that she wishes to spend the rest of her life with. So without further preamble, please indulge me in any sentimentality or tears, as these last few paragraphs will see a closure to what has been such a significant part of my life, but will also see a new beginning, as I look forward to sharing in her happiness, as she strives to realise her dreams and fill her untapped potential as the woman that she presently is and the woman that she will become. Teagan, it is extremely difficult to find the words that would do justice of describing how much I love you. If I wrote for the next 100 years, I still don't think it would be possible to explain how proud I am to be your dad. On the day that you were born, you opened doors in my heart I never knew existed. I was completely overwhelmed by how I felt towards you. And when I looked at you today as you professed your vows, I knew my love was still as strong as it had been on our first day. It may be that you have changed your surname, but nothing will ever change the fact that you're my daughter. In the days preceding Teagan's birth, I unfortunately fell foul to a football injury. This resulted in a varying degree of pretty painful back spasms, very similar in discomfort to labour pains. The consideration of the nursing staff at the Rotten Maternity Hospital was second to none, as they procured me a bed directly beside my hyperventilating wife and told me to keep her spirits up any way I could. So I did this by telling her that I fully understood just what she was going through, as my back was killing me. The hysterically screamed words of F off and A-hole were ringing in my ears as they quickly wheeled me out of the ward and into an empty corridor. The resident midwife told me in no uncertain terms to man up and stop in such a big girl's blouse. With nothing to do but wait, I repeated to God all the prayers, hopes and wishes that I had requested over the previous 9 months, and took my place at my wife's side as she prepared to give me a gift that nothing can ever put a value on. Teagan came into this world with nearly as much hair as she has today. She was howling like a banshee, and she looked none too pleased to see her mum and dad for the first time. It was immediately obvious that my prayers had been answered. She was healthy, full of life, and kicking like an angry horse. It was also obvious that my hopes had been truly answered as well. She was so beautiful, and even the tears filling my eyes couldn't diminish how she looked to me. You can't be too upset at 2 out of 3, as it seemed that my wishes had been overlooked. My request for her to have the voice of an angel had certainly felt like yet, as I cradled her in my arms, it seemed to me that it was the sweetest sound that I had ever heard. Teagan's granddad thought she looked like Mowgli from the Jungle Book. And needless to say, she proved to be hard luck, as we tried to turn her into a little princess, rather than a little toe rag that she preferred to be. We dressed her in the prettiest of frocks, the cutest of shoes, and even put little bunches in her hair, but all to no avail. Usually within a couple of hours, she was so dishevelled that both her grandmothers said she had more resemblance to Bam Bam from the Flintstones than any princess we might have dreamed of. Time has a habit of bringing everything a full circle, and if you look at Teagan today, then you'll see that all her hard work has paid off. She looks beautiful, she looks radiant, and without any doubt in our minds, she more than eclipses any vision of what we thought our princess would be. Teagan has an inner determination, an incredible work ethic, and an opinion on most things. And she commits herself, and she does it wholeheartedly. And today she's committed herself to marriage and to become the wife of the man who holds her heart. Teagan will undoubtedly bring her own personality to the union, but will be backed up with the strength of love that comes from everything she's ever been taught or shown. A whole new life awaits, with challenges round every corner, and standing side by side with the man she loves will see my daughter achieve all her dreams. It's all right, carry on without it. That's what props are for. Teagan, the door to my heart will always be open, and the door to my house will never be closed. I think about you every day, and I pray for you every night. I take great pleasure in seeing you smile, and even great pleasure when you give me a hug. There is nothing for you that I would not do, and there's nothing for you that I would not give. You're all I could have hoped for, and yet you're so much more. You know the faith that I put in words, and the strength that they carry to others. So remember, love is a gift that should always be shared. Give it freely, and you will receive so much more in return. The newlywed couple are not here on a whim. They have found a common path that they wish to share with each other. And today is an affirmation of two people giving themselves completely and without reservation. We presently share a beautiful apartment, aptly decorated by Teagan's creativity and Jordan's mastery of DIY. In fact, after only a couple of months of being in the new apartment, Jordan commented on Teagan's creativity by saying, "You should see what Teagan does in the bedroom." Turns out he meant to say, "You should see what Teagan has done in the bedroom." Seems he was talking about her painting on the walls. Teagan, on the other hand, was blown away when Jordan told her that he thought a spirit level was for measuring drinks. So, as you can see, they bring different attributes to their partnership, and it is those differences that make a marriage. Total acceptance of each other's strengths and weaknesses will unite them as one and keep the fires of their love burning forever. What they have put together in such a short space of time is an extension of their love for one another, and a great starting point for a journey that will last a lifetime. It is their duty to hold up the vows that they both committed to today, and it is our duty as witnesses to support them. We all shared in a special day, let us make it a goal to share in the rest of our lives. It gives me great honour to ask the assembled family and friends to be upstanding and to offer a toast on behalf of the newlywed couple. May you always walk in the light and let others share your path. Jordan and Teagan. I would now like to pass you on to the man of the day, Mr. Jordan DL.
I just don't like it, I'm going to shake it. It's fine. Okay, I just want to start off by saying thanks for the kind words, John. So, leading up to the wedding, Teagan made me promise her one thing, and that was to keep it short and keep it clean. So I've had it dangling in a pint of icy cold water for the last 15 minutes. Now for the speech. On behalf of my wife and I, just want to say a quick thank you to everyone for coming and sharing this special day with us. It's been a tough 18 months for everyone, but hopefully now we are coming out the other side. We want to say thank you for all the cards and gifts. We are really grateful for your kindness and generosity. I would like to say a special thank you to my mum and dad. Mum, you look amazing today, and Dad, you've scrubbed up no bad yourself. There are far too many things to list here when speaking today to emphasise the things you have done for me throughout my life, and also some of the things you have done for both of us since Teagan has been a part of it. Mum, I would like to thank you for always being there for me. You would always have my back and give me the right advice, no matter the situation. Thank you for sacrificing your nights and taking me to the football, even when you hated driving in the M8 during rush hour. Yes, we left Mavis at 5 PM for a 7 PM start on Saturday, but you always got me there in time. And it's these small things I am grateful for. Dad, I would like to thank you for teaching me so many different skills. To be good at DIY, gardening, cooking, doing the washing, hoovering, the list goes on. Well, anyone that knows my dad knows that I learned most of those skills from my mum. Minus the DIY and gardening, of course. I'm going to pick them up off my new father-in-law joint. But that aside, you've played a massive role in my life. I probably don't tell you this often enough, but I really do look up to you and appreciate the things you've taught me as your son. Both of you have made me into the man I am today. I hope you can look at me standing here, marrying the woman I love, and feel really proud of me. You should also be really proud of yourselves. Moving on to my new father and mother-in-law, John and Liz. I think you both look absolutely brilliant today. I just want to say thank you for everything you have done for myself and Teagan over the years. From the first time I met you both until now, you have always made me feel welcome and part of the family. Hosting your amazing Christmas dinners, letting us visit your lovely caravan, great holidays abroad. These are just some of the memories we have shared so far, and I look forward to making many more in the future. Again, this is just another example of your kindness, and I hope you understand how appreciated it is. I also want to say thanks for giving your daughter's hand in marriage to me. Some might say a bit too easily, but your approval meant the world to me. I hope you know I will do everything to love and protect her. You should be so proud of how you have raised what was once your little girl to this now beautiful woman. She really is a credit to you both. I just want to make a quick toast to say thank you to our amazing parents, to Gavin and Fiona and John and Liz. Okay, another big thanks to Reese as well. Now we can finally properly call each other brothers, even though we have been for about 8 years. It is now official. From day one we have got on brilliantly. We've shared many a laugh and many a lager. Not a lot of you will know this, but Reese is the man responsible for me making the switch from cider to beer. I'm not too sure Teagan or my new beer belly are happy about it, maybe. I admire you and the relationship you have with Teagan. It's something you should be really proud of, and I know if I am not there, then I can always rely on you to be looking out for her. That is something I really want to thank you for. The love you have for her really shows, and I think I noticed a couple of tears running down your face when she was walking down the aisle. Although the more I think about it now, I'm wondering if that was because you realised I am now taken for good. Only you can confirm the answer to that, but you can tell me later on. I would like to say a special thanks to my best man, Cammy. He did an excellent job in planning the stag do down in Liverpool. For most, this would have been quite a task, given the COVID restrictions, and also with the waiting for babies to get cancelled. It meant that everything was a bit last minute. Not a problem for Cammy. His last minute planning is something he excels in. Bearing in mind, most things he does in life are a bit last minute. I've even heard that there's similarities between this and his performance in the bedroom. Sorry, that's a bit more like last a minute. Thanks for that one, Megan. Nah, all jokes aside, everything you have done and do for me as a best mate is really appreciated. Liverpool was such an amazing weekend, and I think all the lads would agree that you did a great job. To the ushers, Rhys, Grant and Josh, I need to take a wee moment of shame. To the ushers, Rhys, Grant and Josh, you're all looking sharp today. To the flower girl, Ryan, you look I'm just kidding, mate. You're looking great too. We're both really thankful for the role you have played in ushering the guests to the wrong seats in the chapel. Moving on to the bridesmaids, Jenna, Chelsea and Nicola, who I'm sure you will all agree look absolutely stunning. I want to thank you for everything you've done today. Over the years I've grown close to you all and we have had some amazing times together. I'm grateful for the friendship you all have with Teagan and how you have all played a part in our special day. I would like to thank another important woman in both our lives, and that is Teagan's gran, Rena. From day one, when we first met, you always made me feel welcome, and I always look forward to coming round to your house to visit. I am so glad that you were able to see Teagan walking down the aisle today. We both love you very much. Right, now on to the main event. That's you. Teagan, I'd always dreamt about this day in my head and how beautiful you would look. You have certainly surpassed my dreams, and in reality, there is no words to describe how I feel right now. You look absolutely stunning, and I'm so proud to call you my wife. From the moment we first met, that night in level 2, which is a dancing in Coldbridge for anyone that doesn't know, I had a feeling that it was going to be something more than just a wee wench on the dance floor. Nah, I'm joking, that didn't happen. However, I think there's a reason for that. Many of you won't know, but that night I swept Teagan away with an excellent chat up line. You are a natural beauty. Probably one of my worst ones ever. But looking at you today, I was definitely right. Anyway, I don't blame you for ignoring me for 3 months after that. I'm also glad I came into Nando's after the 3 months had passed and you plucked up the courage to say, you know what, I got it wrong. Something you've never repeated again in a relationship. But yeah, then you very smoothly asked for my number on Twitter. I can honestly say that since that day, we started talking, that the journey we have been on and things we have experienced together have been amazing. All of the holidays, festivals, trips away together, we really have made some great memories, and to share them with your best friend makes it even more special. Many people I spoke to about their wedding said it was so stressful, and they were right. Do you know how stressful it is going from Tesco to B&M bargains to home bargains just to find dummy tits? But in all honesty, it has actually been the complete opposite for me, and that is only down to you. You've been absolutely amazing in your planning and making sure everything was perfect, despite only having about 7 weeks to get some of the things in place. I really am so grateful for everything, and you have made today so special for us both and everyone involved. You're the kindest, most thoughtful person I have ever met. You always put other people and their feelings before your own, which is such an amazing trait to have. Today really is the best day of my life, but this is just the beginning for us, and I can't wait for our long future together. A toast to my beautiful wife. Lastly, I would just like to mention a few people that have been a massive part of our lives. All my grandparents and Teagan's grandparents, and also Teagan's granda, who unfortunately I didn't get to meet, but from the stories, I know he was an amazing man that she loved so very much. I hope you are all looking down and smiling today, so if we can all raise a glass to them, and also to absent friends. And now for probably the only part of the day that I haven't been looking forward to, I will pass you over to my best friend.
I've been absolutely stitched up here, a belter. How are you supposed to follow those two? All I've got here is 4 pages of eyebrow jokes. Good afternoon, everybody. If anyone doesn't know me, I'm Cammy. I'm Jordan's best man. And for anyone that does know me, just laugh, please. Fake laughs, I'll take anything that's going well. I must admit, I've been absolutely really cool about this, but I'm completely bricking it today. Gav will tell you can literally smell the fear off me. However, I must admit, Teagan is every bit as nervous as me. This is the only part of the wedding that she hasn't planned. Anyway, I'm delighted to be here, standing here as best man. It's a special day full of love, joy, laughter, and going on nearly 9-10 years in the making. But anyway, that's enough about Flag Day at Ibrox tomorrow. Didn't take me long, John, did it? No. I guess I'll start by thanking the groom for giving me the honour of being his best man. I was absolutely over the moon to be asked, and I hope I do it justice. That being said, looking at other ushers this afternoon, I'm sure I was the only viable option. Jordan asked to be his best man 2 years ago, and I thought we'd get loads of stories over the next couple of years. And of course, we've been COVID up and we've hardly seen each other. So I then went online and started to Google great best man speeches. But that was flawed, because you have to pay for the good ones. I mean, I love Jordan and all that, but I'm not paying for that. Therefore, what I'll need to do is go back into the archives to give you an insight into Jordan and our friendship. So I first met Jordan when the two of us started high school. He was a year below me, and to be honest, I didn't think much of him. Thought he was this wee guy with curly hair, massive eyebrows, and a bit too much to say for himself. However, I'm sure you'll agree that's all completely changed. My friendship... My friendship with Jordan really blossomed when we were around 16, 17. Me, him and a friend, Johnny Cochrane, were inseparable. And when Johnny went off to New Zealand, our friendship really took off. We had similar interests, loved our football, going out, and general horsing around. Fiona, Jordan's lovely mother, would always ask Jordan, "Where are you off to? Where are you going? What are you up to?" And Jordan's reply would always be the same: "I'm just going down to chill at Cammy's. I'm just chilling at Cammy's." Now what Fiona doesn't know, and doesn't know to this day, is that when we were chilling at Cammy's, we were always joined by 2 other men, a Mr. William Hill and Mr. Paddy Power. That's right, Fiona, chilling at Cammy's was very much code for gambling the Iceland wages away on ridiculous horses. Needless to say, this is our most common interest, and where our friendship really took off. My friendship with Jordan wasn't always plain sailing. I was there from the tough times as well. There was, of course, the bedwetting stage. I don't know what he's laughing at, it's a difficult time for everybody. Most of us are 5 or 6, Jordan was 19. I'm not joking, for about a 6-month spell, Jordan must have pissed the bed about 10 times. Even when we went up to our empty in Edinburgh, Jordan's crashed on the couch and managed to piss the couch. Jordan's toilet troubles don't end there, but I promise we'll have more on that later. Another difficult time was, of course, when Teagan went travelling to Australia and Jordan stayed back in Scotland. We all know that long-distance relationships can be really tough, and this was a very, very difficult time. Mainly for me. Because if you think Jordan's a pain in the arse just now, you should see him with testicles the size of grapefruits. I'll be honest, I was a bit scared to put that joke in because I know Teagan's dad, this hard man from the East End of Glasgow. However, I've got to know him over the past 3-4 weeks, and it turns out he likes his long bike rides and peppermint tea, so that bit went right back in. Anyway, what about the absolute nick of Ryan Dalrymple up the Vegas Strip last night? Oh, sorry, these are old notes. Unfortunately, Vegas wasn't meant to be, and that was a massive shame. However, what about this for an alternative? The place looks great, ceremony was lovely, and can't wait for the rest of the night. Looking back at it now, it was probably for the best. Jordan would have been the only man late for his own wedding, having just come through customs. Garish? Really? No, I don't think so. I'll be honest, I was worried about that joke as well. That accent was sounding Jamaican in rehearsals. John's ethnicity has always been a point of humour and confusion, shall we say. We always went on lads' holidays and people can't quite figure out where he's from. Obviously, I won't say too much. We're in 2021. Got a lot of snowflakes out there, of course. What I would say though is we chose to dress Jordan up for his stag do. I'm sure some of you have seen the pictures. But let's just say my Amazon account thinks that I'm a terrorist that plays golf and dresses up as a woman. Honestly, some of my next purchase recommendations would get you to jail. What I would say though, it was great to see that Miss Sweden really enjoyed Miss Iran's costume. Especially when we were younger, Jordan was always confused for someone coming from a different background. I get it, he's got that kind of sallow skin, foreign looking beard, and the thickest black hair you'll ever see in your life. Now thankfully most of you won't see that thick black hair because it's on his backside. Unfortunately, I'm ashamed to say that I've seen it. But I'm not going to sit here and talk about Jordan's hairy arse on his wedding day. That would be completely inappropriate. What I will say though is if anybody loses anything today, or even if somebody goes missing, that forest in his backside is where we should start looking. That brings me nicely to eyebrows. This speech is a piece of piss. All I've said is eyebrows and you're laughing, but... So, as you all know, Jordan wasn't blessed in the eyebrow department. And it's a lifetime of trying to keep on top of these bad boys. They've been on such a journey over the years, and of course I've came at us in different forms. There was, of course, the original 2 dead rats on his forehead. Closely followed by Jim's dad from American Pie. Who can forget the baby caterpillar chasing its mother? And my all-time favourite for about 2 years was the 2 tadpoles squaring up to each other. Poor Jordan's had a lifetime of trying to maintain the bad boys, but I'm not going to slag it much longer. He's had a hard time, but it's such an easy joke to make. Instead, Jordan, I'm going to give you one piece of advice, and one piece of advice only. And that would be to grow those eyebrows out as thick as you possibly can. Because let me tell you, now that you're married, those eyebrows are the only bush you're going to be seeing. And while I'm on the subject, Mount Vernon is the only mountain you'll be doing as well. Back to the hair on his head. Looking at John today, I think you know he looks very smart, well groomed and has a great haircut. However, as many as you know, this always wasn't the case. For several years, Jordan was sporting what can only be described as the biggest comb-over known to man. This comb-over finished about here, but I'm sure it started halfway down his back. Oh, I lost my place. For about 6 years, Jordan didn't need pockets in his jeans. He used to lift up this comb-over and shove his wallet underneath it. He was appropriately named Wiggy by some of the boys and still is to this day. Now, much like his arse, it's the thickest black hair on the planet. And as you can imagine, any sort of humidity doesn't quite agree with it. This was highlighted in one of our first lads' holidays away to Malia. The boys were all buzzing on the bus from the airport, just singing songs, just couldn't wait to get out. Jordan took one step off the bus, went up to a nice looking lady and started to talk to her. She looked at him up and down, had a look at his hair and said the words, "Just because you're on holiday doesn't mean you can't get a haircut." Needless to say, that was the beginning and the end of the comb-over haircut. Gone but not forgotten, of course. However, after he moved to a decent haircut, Teagan was shortly on the scene, so that speaks volumes, to be honest. So around about this time, Jordan took a real shine to Nando's and be constantly asking us who fancies a Nando's. Let's go for a cheeky Nando's. Now I'm quite fond of a Nando's myself, so I'm more than happy to oblige. However, we soon found out that Jordan was after something that wasn't on the menu. With 2 people serving and the massive queue, Jordan would try and time the queue just right to get Teagan to serve him. Oh, it's cute, isn't it? I mean, it's not quite Romeo and Juliet, but the Iceland boy got the Nando's girl in the end. Teagan was introduced to the boys shortly after and fitted in almost straight away. She was chatty, outgoing, and just great to be around. She was just lovely, to be honest. I remember looking at her and looking at Jordan and thinking there must be something seriously wrong with her. She was this beautiful looking girl, lovely smile, great personality, and 2 of the biggest eyes you'll ever see in your life. However, turns out there's nothing wrong with her at all, just very low standards in men. When I read the next bit, I know what's coming, honestly. So it's calmed down a lot now, but when I first started with Teagan, I thought she's got the voice of an absolute angel. If that angel had 5 wains and grew up in Mary Hill days. However, I'm under strict instructions not to slag Teagan or her voice today. It's her wedding day and all. All I'll say is Teagan's the only person I know to get a knockback from River City for sounding too Glaswegian. At this point, I'd like to point out how absolutely beautiful Teagan looks today. I would also like to point out how delighted I am that she's not wearing her old lady Crocs that she's been sporting recently. I'm only joking. Teagan, you look absolutely amazing today. And you know I think the absolute world of you. I think you're just the most caring person I've ever met in my life. And you certainly made Jordan a better version of himself. Anyway, that being said, let's get back to the worst version of Jordan. The one thing I want to slag Jordan about is his career. From his Iceland days... What's funny about that, actually? From his Iceland days, he made a difficult decision to go back to uni in his early 20s. He's now built up his experience and starts a new job next month. You deserve every success that comes your way in your career, mate. Again, even more respect for Jordan when I met him for a pint after work and was introduced to his uni mates. Oh my God. You've all seen the in-betweeners. These guys are the ones that didn't make the cut for the in-betweeners. In fact, they make the in-betweeners look like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. I had so much respect for Jordan when he'd put up with these characters for 4 years. I'm being harsh. Any Jordan's uni mates here today? No bloody wonder, Jordan. Jordan's first love, and probably true love, was of course the famous Glasgow Rangers. From a very young age, Jordan had a great affection for Rangers and still does to this day, of course. Jordan would spend a lot of his younger days following Rangers up and down the country with the legend that is Gav Diel. My favourite story from this time is when Rangers were in Barcelona for the Champions League. Now let me tell you, there's no better feeling than travelling Europe, getting absolutely hammered and watching your team. But at this moment in time, Jordan's a bit too young to drink. Gav Diel, on the other hand, isn't. You can see where this is going. So they're walking home, zigzagging along the pavement, and as you do, Gav decides it's time to relieve himself. So he pulls over and starts to do his business. Now, to Jordan's dismay, he noticed that Gav is relieving himself all down his jeans. So Jordan, being Jordan, says, "Dad, what the hell are you doing? You're pissing down your jeans." Gav Diel stares at him and starts bursting out laughing. He says, "Dad, what are you laughing at? It's not funny, it's not funny." Gav Diel, still laughing, stares at him in the face and says, "These are the only jeans I've got with me." Needless to say, the flight home the next day was thinking of pish and Lynx Africa. All joking aside, Jordan comes from an amazing, loving family. Gav and Fiona made him into man of the day, and you should be so proud to see him on his wedding day here today. Now I promise you, for God's sake. Now I promise you we'd go back to Jordan's disgusting toilet habits, and this one tops a lot. So we're at an empty, nobody's in this room, just for a point of reference, and Jordan's got a night out with his football team, so he's all suited and booted. So we've been partying all night, and the news gets out that Jordan is coming back to this empty after his night out. So we thought, great, it'd be good to see the wee man, that would be great. So a few hours go by and he's not arrived. And we didn't really take much notice, to be honest. We assumed Jordan maybe got a better offer or he'd went elsewhere. What we do notice though is that somebody's been in the bathroom for well over an hour. So we look around the empty, count up the heads, and everyone's accounted for. So well, that's weird. So we chat the door a few times, no response. We've shouted into the bathroom, no response. So as concerned citizens, we decide it's time to start opening this door. So my good friend Grant there has got a coin out and he's somehow managed to prise open this bathroom door. Now let me tell you, what's staring back at us is nothing short of a massacre. I'll get the disgusting part out of the way. First of all, there's a jobby in the toilet. And Jordan DL lying face down on the floor, pants at his ankles, sleeping. He'd snuck, oh you're son, Fiona. He'd obviously snuck into the empty, thought I'll do my business very quickly, fell asleep halfway through and fell off a toilet pan. And let me tell you, it gets better. So we wake him up, say, Jordan, what you doing? You fell asleep halfway down the toilet, you threw me in the pan and all that. Jordan then stands up and says, that wasn't me. This man literally got caught, pants at his ankles and denied all knowledge. But let me tell you folks, his ability to stone-faced deny that tells me he's going to be the greatest husband of all time. So I'm going to have to stop because I could be here all night, honestly. So in writing this speech, I promised myself I would just come up here, tell terrible jokes and slag Jordan, and not go soppy and everybody towards the end. However, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Jordan, it has been an absolute honour to have been your best man, and I hope I've done it justice. You're the nicest, most genuine person I've ever met in my life, and I'm so proud to call you my best mate. If you can work on the few things that I've discussed this afternoon, you're going to be an absolute amazing husband. Teagan, anyone that's been in your company, even for a brief amount of time, thinks the world of you. You're just such a great person, and you're so fun to be around. You're a credit to yourself and a credit to your lovely family as well. You're going to be an amazing wife. In terms of Jordan and Teagan, I've never known two people who you just knew were going to go the distance almost straight away. Even through any kind of highs and any kind of lows, I think most of us all knew these two were always going to end up together forever. I just view the two of you now as a team that will get through absolutely anything life throws at you. So whether that be kids, houses, new jobs, whatever life throws at you, I know the two of you will be able to handle it together. It's so cliche, I know, but I genuinely can't think of two people who are more meant to be with each other than you two. On that note, folks, if I could just get everybody to raise their glass. So on behalf of myself, on behalf of absent friends, absent family, on behalf of everybody in this room, we'd like to wish you all a lifetime of health and happiness and an absolutely amazing marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, to the bride and groom,